So how do we protect ourselves today?
Well, that's not the question. I mean, most hacking is social engineering, which is problematic. Meaning, it's using people rather than hacking into a system and trying to find passwords. You start calling secretaries or people in the company, and you have a story, and they suddenly give you the information rather than you having to hack into it yourself. This is 99% of all hacks today.
99% of all the hacks today. Got it. So meaning that no matter what I do, if somebody really wants to infiltrate my system and get the information they want out of me, there's really not much I can do about it.
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Didn't you say you designed a phone that's meaning hack-proof? Nobody can hack the phone?
That's correct.
Is that phone out for people to buy it or not yet? Are you planning on going?
Actually, well, it was being done through MGT. I resigned from MGT a couple months ago because I was bored. It was, I moved totally into cryptocurrency. But yeah, the phone it's pretty much hack-proof.
Pretty much
It's called
hack-proof.
the Cloak phone, and it should be coming out in 6 months.
So somebody could buy it 6 months from now, say.
Yeah.
So
they said it will not be my phone anymore. It will belong to MGT.
So, there was a book written in the 80s called Only the Paranoid Survive. Do you remember that book?
I don't.
It was actually written by the founder of Intel, Only the Paranoid Survive. Do you think in a world like this it benefits, maybe not even benefits, it behooves people to be a little bit more paranoid than they usually are?
I think paranoia serves its purpose. I mean, paranoia makes you more aware of threats. It makes you pay attention. I wouldn't say people should be paranoid. People should be cautious. People should be aware. You need to be aware of the threats. You need to be aware that when you log on to the internet, your expectation of privacy is absurd. You're logged on to a system where there are 2 billion computers attached. 1 billion people who are interfacing and communicating and watching. 1 million hackers trying to steal money from you or information or to find something that they can blackmail you with. This is the world that you enter when you log on to the internet. And if you enter that world thinking I'm perfectly safe, the world will take care of me, well, who the hell is going to take care of you? I mean, it's Zuckerberg can't, Facebook can't, Twitter can't, Google can't. I mean, Twitter. If you go onto Twitter, there are probably 200 John McAfees, all with my picture and everything else. They're all fake. And this is in the news a couple of weeks ago. Twitter has tried to stop this and cannot. Too many people are doing it. They stop one thing and they come into another avenue. They come in with a different ID, but the same photos.
How do you feel about it?
Well,
no feelings, no emotions, or it's just you either accept it or it is what it is?
It is what it is. It cannot be fixed. You just live with it.
So you think we're going in the direction of living a naked life, which means, I can, nowadays I can go online within a 5-minute period. I can find out if you're a Democrat, Republican, what sports team you like, married kids, how many kids, age, issues, frustrations. You can pretty much find out if somebody goes on there and spends 5 minutes. Do you think we're going in the direction where we are accepting our privacy being taken away from us?
I expect mine to be taken away. I expect everything that I put into the internet to be taken away. If you put it on the internet, someone's going to get it. It's a fact of life. There's no way to prevent it. So what you put into it, you better expect the world to know. So, I don't know, I use disinformation. For example, I bought a house, a new place in a foreign country, and I said it was in Dominica. Put photographs in. Well, no, I've never been to Dominica, and I do not have a house there. However, those people who are trying to find me or looking for me, I mean, you have to figure it out yourself. Protect yourself by any means possible. Disinformation, no information, limited information. But whatever you put into the internet, it's gone, man. People are going to be looking at it and reading it and watching you.
John, when you were running McAfee, because this becomes one of my concerns. You know how they say whenever you have a computer and you got the camera on the Apple computer covered up and put a tape on it yourself so they can't see you because they're watching you, all these other conspiracies that you have to be looking out for. When you went from 0 to 5 million customers have an interest on the product you're marketing within 2 weeks, did at that time a government agency reach out to you when they wanted to get information on other people? Did they contact you Did you ever have moments where they're contacting you saying, hey, we want to know a little bit more about XYZ?
Thing is, I didn't know about XYZ. I was not in the business of gathering information on my customers. I didn't know who they were. They downloaded it for free. It was free to start with. I only knew who someone was if they called because they got a virus. So I didn't have a database. I had nothing I could give to the government. Now, everybody in the government did in fact contact me because they're all concerned about viruses. And the government was my first major customer, all aspects, the Defense Department, the Personnel Department, everything. So the U.S. government became really my largest customer for the first year. But I didn't have anything to give them. I didn't have anything I knew nothing.
They were just using your service is what they were using.
Well, they were using my software, but back then software didn't send home where it was located, who was using it, because there was no value in it.
Interesting. So
Back then we didn't sell information because there were no buyers for it because no one had it.
Back then you didn't sell information because there was no buyers for it.
Pardon?
There was no buyers for it.
Well, first of all, we didn't have it. Even if we had it, people didn't know what to do with it. Back then, it was a brand new field. Personal computers had just entered the world a couple of years before.
So, are you certain, like, if you were to bet on this one here, are you certain that if a government agency involved with a Google or Facebook or some of these guys to get, I mean, that smile says a lot, but are you certain of it that it's taking place?
Absolutely. Please, Lord, would any government allow Google, Facebook, Twitter, that has massive amounts of information on everybody, not just in America, but in the world? Do you think they would allow that just to freely go on its way? Of course not. Please, Lord. This is how governments work. You think I'm paranoid? Governments are paranoid. They're all terrified of losing power, of change, of revolution, of the world turning upside down. So of course, I mean, it only makes sense. If they are not, then I don't understand reality. I don't understand how the world works.
So you are for what they're doing?
No, I'm not saying I'm for it. I'm just saying, of course, they're doing it. I'm not saying I'm for it. I'm absolutely against it.
So what's an ideal situation? I mean, if they're worried about revolution or it turning upside down, what is the alternative? Not doing anything about it and leaving it alone?
Well, I mean, you can worry about these things, or you can actually spy on your people to make sure it doesn't happen. I'd much rather not worry about either one. Let's just continue as America, or as London, or as Australia, and just let things happen. I don't believe that a government that spies on its people is going to stop people getting angry, upset, or want to change the government.
I just think about it this way, because what you just said right now, I'm processing it. I'm thinking about it. So if you're going to come to fight me tonight, and I'm going to bring 10 of my guys, you're going to bring 10 of your guys, and we're meeting in Clarksville, Kentucky, okay, or Clarksville, Tennessee, and I'm coming with semi-automatic weapons. I got guns, and you're coming with your hey, I'm a man's man. I'm just going to fight you with my knuckles. I'm just going to fight you here with my bare knuckles. I mean, who's going to win that fight, even though it's 10 against 10.
Well,
so
if it's me, I'm not going to go. I'm going to have dinner with somebody instead. I mean, it's like you do have that choice, right?
But the point I'm trying to make is, if the government says, well, we're just not going to do, we leave everybody to themselves, a citizen's going to do it. And if a citizen does that,
is going to do what?
They're going to try to go take some kind of control and hack into people's decision-making process and see what they're doing. Wouldn't that be happening if it isn't already?
Of course that's happening. That's what the hackers are doing constantly. I mean, let's just look at some of the major hacks. 2.5 years ago, someone took 21 million records from the United States Office of Personnel Management. That means everybody with top secret clearances, everybody who has ever worked for the U.S. government for the past 50 years. Good God Almighty. Do you realize what a major coup that would have been in a war? An act of espionage of the scale of which has never been attempted. And it's, some random person in Russia or China probably wandered in and just took it. It's so easy to do.
Is that why you ran for presidential, to be a president? Because you said, I think I heard you say one time, what we are worried about, a nuclear war is the last thing to worry about. What we need to be worried about is a cyber war.
Yeah.
Is that what you're referencing, that possibly that could happen one day?
Well, of course. I think it's happening today. I think it's already happening. since it is a cyber war, we're not going to see it. We're just going to see little evidences here and there. Because seriously, a cyber war would be a very inexpensive war. I mean, Korea has 2,100 hackers. It's a group of government hackers with the capacity to literally take down any country in the world, including the U.S., by any number of ways, hacking into our power grid, shunting the electricity in such a way that all of our transformers burn out across America. Now, we have no electricity. How do you repair it? I don't know. All of our repair tools are electrically operated. Everything goes south. We don't have any electricity to run the plants to create the food and can them and ship them so that we can eat. We don't have the electricity to create fuel from raw oil. We have nothing to run our cars on. We have no lights. We have no heat. Hospitals are down. We have no emergency services. Think about it. Now, there's no nuclear war that could ever achieve that. There would always be pockets of we would still have something, but no.
So if you were running for office, let's just say you ran for office and you got elected over Trump, okay? You're president. What are you doing to make sure that doesn't happen?
Well, number one, I had no intention of ever getting elected, no one in their right mind. I mean, I could never get elected president. However, running on the libertarian platform, it gave me a forum that allowed me to speak and to tell what I think the problems in America are. And that's all I asked for, and that's what I achieved. But boy, if I was in Trump's position, I wouldn't have a clue.
I mean, you wouldn't have a clue.
I wouldn't. And here's why. It is so.
I mean, I saw you when you were talking about this. It sounded like you were pretty. You said, and I think you were speaking to, was it Larry? It wasn't Larry King. It was somebody from Fox. You were speaking. You said, look, I'm not just running because I'm running. I'm running because I really feel this is an important issue with cyber war, and I feel I know what it takes to be able to help, improve this situation. So,
we're talking about one thing. That's cyber war itself. Yeah. Number one, I would fire every technician in the U.S. government because, hang on, every government agency in every country in the world becomes a magnet for people who want stability, want continuity, want security. These aren't the people who design new, creative, innovative systems. No, they're the people that maintain the status quo. Well, the status quo is all fucked up. So no, we number one, get rid of everybody. Now that's going to be very hard. Number two, restructure. I would go out and I would go to places like DEF CON, where all the hackers go to conventions, put up a U.S. government booth saying we're hiring, all right? And I'd hire the people that we're trying to fight.
And they don't look like government employees. These guys they have a complete different look.
And they demand to smoke weed on the job, and and they have mohawks and pierced tongues, and that's.
But they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I could care what people look like or how they act if they can do the job. And so that's not going to happen either. I mean, it's one thing to say I'm Larry King or yes, I know what to do, but in reality, I mean, that's politics. That's the ability for people to go, I want to listen to what he says next. But in reality, it's a morass of intertwined tiny evils. The tiny evils of Google and Facebook, we call them evils. The fact that we have no privacy, the fact that people are spying, the fact that hackers can get into anything and steal what they want, the fact that our financial system is very fragile in terms of if hackers really wanted to attack America, a couple of thousand could bring us down financially. Why don't they? Well, we probably have the ability to do the same thing to them. But no, this is, we have let things get out of control, and we've done it because we are lazy. We are, why do we accept smartphones that have the capacity to find my location, turn on my camera, turn on my microphone, look at my contacts, see who I last called, find out what I'm buying on Amazon or what have you? Why do we accept that? Because this makes our life easy. So you want to make your life easier? You probably don't remember a time where phone numbers were in your head. Mm-hmm. What was your grandmother's phone number? You knew it right off the bat. Do you know anybody's phone number now other than your own and maybe your wife's?
I'm a math guy, so for me I do, but most people don't. I fully understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but
I agree with you.
For most people, they just go in their contacts and they click the name. And so that is a great boon, it makes life easier. Well, nothing's free again. What do you think that costs us?
Let me ask you this. Do you think we're going to, so first of all, before me even asking this, do you think the election still is being controlled by the people voting? So do you think we voted for, or is there enough opportunity for manipulation?
I'm on camera, and I don't want the feds busting down my door. But no, I don't think we do control who gets into office. I think we are deluding ourselves if we think that the voting booths, the unions, the local people who control the voting process. Do you think that if that is truly, absolutely, 100% secure, honest, and not tamperable with, I am sorry, you're absolutely wrong. And so if it can be tampered with, if it can be in any way manipulated, then it will be. This is human nature. So to think again that we actually have control and we're electing our presidents, you might question that. If I were you, I would seriously question the reality of our voting system.
At this pace that we're going, do you think we're going to get to a point where a 35-year-old person or 36-year-old person is going to end up becoming a president because they have a better, easier way of, what do you call it? They have an easier way of, keywords, advertising, putting ads out, and they get the word out, and then boom, I got a 36-year-old president because he knows how to be in the face more than somebody else does.
What is Donald Trump doing now? What is his main tool for communicating with America? Used to be the media. You call in, have a news conference. No, what is it? He tweets something. Anybody with 25 million followers on anything, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or you name it, good Lord, you have tremendous power and you have tremendous influence because you have the ear of your followers. So of course this can happen.
So do you think we're going in the direction of the person that has the most followers ends up becoming a president and has the most influence?
It might be.
Wow.
It might be. We no longer reach the point where we're voting. We go, let's count. Okay, so-and-so's got 131 million, then you're the president.
Wow. So then what's the...
I'm being facetious.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. No.
But not really. And to some degree, can you not see that this is a possibility?
So would that mean that we would need to possibly reconsider our voting system if that's the direction we're going? Because somebody that has more reach, has a bigger voice that can get to a bigger platform, even though somebody else has more sound values that's going to help protect the country better?
I don't think we will actually reach that point because before then, all of our voting will become electronic.
Okay.
Computer controlled. At that point, it's the programmer who programs these computers that will choose our presidents. I'm telling you the truth.
I mean, that's a concern, though, John.
No, please, God, see the truth of this, because these are complex systems designed by hundreds or sometimes thousands of people. The man or woman who understands the internals, the connections, the subroutines, the flow of logic, the most. You can put anything you want in there. It can't be discovered. It is too complex. Way too complex. They're called back doors for hackers for this. I don't know what you would call it, but you could put in there something where you, thank you, Jimmy, where you say, okay, well, we're going to decide who we want to have president, and when voting comes, I'm just going to tell all my machines, give 51% to this person and 49% to that person. Do you know how trivial that would be?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if that's the direction we're going to right now, where the person with the biggest following ends up winning, then there may be a time that we need to reconsider ways. And by the way, just out of curiosity, how do you feel just so the viewer knows and I know, how do you feel about Trump as a president himself?
I like Trump.
Okay, got it. So you're not saying anything where indirectly you're taking a shot at Trump saying because he's got a lot of followers, he became a president. That's not your point.
I think, first of all, I think the Twitter move was very smart. He bypasses, because presidents are held hostage by the media. You get to do a press conference, they get to edit what they want. They get to put in there their own skew, their own color, their own flavor to what you have said. But you can do it easily enough by simply cutting things out, reorganizing things in terms of time sequence or whatever, or focusing on the biggest faux pas that you made. Well, no. If you are doing it yourself in these tiny bites of 100 and 280 characters, the media is locked out. The media is shut out. They have no more power, no more control. Thank God for that.
They hate that.
The good. They should. No disrespect to you and you guys, but honestly, this is what is wrong with this country and every country. The information flow funneled through a few faces, a few agencies, a few stations, Fox, CNN, CNBC. That's the problem. Because if you watch the news, is it news? I mean, on some stations there are women with leather, leather vests and low-cut blouse. Bullshit. This is all, it's drama. It's entertainment. It's self-aggrandizement by the news anchors.
Who do you actually listen to? Is there anybody where you say, I respect and value this person's opinion? Anybody in the media that you say, this guy is half decent when he talks?
No.
Nobody?
Nobody.
So you're valuing everything that's happening. You're trying to see what the motive behind it is, or how do you intake it? Because, again, going back to it, like I said earlier, we trusted McAfee because the guy running it was extremely cautious and paranoid. And he had to make sure that, hey, you pay me for this service because you don't have to worry about somebody hacking your computer, because I know exactly how hackers think. So we said, here you go, $89. Here you go, $69. We trust you. Keep doing what you're doing. As somebody that is as paranoid and it's wired the way you are. I mean, we're sitting in a place, you got people protecting, you got a piece on the side, so it's not like we're, no, it's totally fine. I was in the military, so we're sitting here and, you are pretty protective of your personal life and your liberties and the choices that you're making. But knowing that, and if this is where we're going, I mean, what is the real solution to it?
You notice that I am protecting myself. I have hired my security. I am carrying the piece. I have structured my life to protect myself. Step one is don't ask someone else to do it for you. Don't expect the government. Don't expect your police. Sure, they are designed to do this, but if someone breaks into my house, puts a gun to my head, is there a magic button that I can push that makes a policeman immediately materialize between me and the attacker? No, please God. They are there. They're not there to protect, even though it says protect and serve. They come in after the mess, clean up, and try to find the perpetrator and prosecute him. That's what this is all about. Nobody's protecting you. You want Mark Zuckerberg to protect your privacy? Good God, please. He has no capacity to do so.
Neither is it his job, right? It's our jobs as citizens to make sure we take care of ourselves.
That's as I see it. If you're over the age of 21, then please God, don't expect someone else to make your decisions, to weigh the alternatives, to protect yourself and your family. It's your responsibility. So
let me ask you, again, follow up on this. Where do you consume your information from? Or do you at all consume any content? Do you consume any information yourself?
I get it straight from the source if I can. I mean, if they're reporting on something that's happening in the Middle East, I'm going to go to a Middle East station, a Middle East newspaper, and find out from them. They're there. They're there.
Got it. You get your source from them.
Let's get it from multiple sources, balance them out. But in most cases, I just don't care because it's all the same.
Were you like this also in 1986?
Yeah, always.
So in 1986, you're not consuming any content, opinions, Walter Cronkite, somebody saying Buckley or Vidal?
Absolutely not. Not that I did not keep my ear to the ground, but I was concerned with computer viruses and security. All those people, I was listening to them. What did you discover yesterday? What about this virus? Where do you think this is going?
Do you think...
and let me tell you why, please. I don't want to sound cynical and obtuse. But what is the purpose of the media? Is it not to make money? Seriously, please God, whoever you work for, they're expecting you to make money. How do you make money? By creating the most interesting content. If it's news, the most interesting story. If it's not interesting, you damn well better make it interesting. And how do you make it interesting? You find some perspective, some weird, strange perspective. Oh, look at this from this angle. What a horrible person. What a horrible event. Why? Because we're traveling down the highway and there's a massive accident. What happens? Everything stops to a standstill. Well, I want to see it. As to the grandmother baking pies by the highway, do we give a shit? No, we do not. It's human nature. And so in order to make money, which is your job, you're doing this to make money. Are you doing this for